Morning, everybody. So today we're out in the woods again, and we're searching for an old house site that is very hard to locate on a map. So we came out to take a peek, and I don't expect to find any telltale signs because, as you can see, they had planted a large amount of pine trees in here, and usually they kind of destroy all evidence of old foundations and stuff. Let's walk around and take a peek. I'm thinking we follow the hardwoods, and our house site is in here somewhere, so I'll get back to you as soon as I have something to say. Okay? Bye. Alright, so just a little bit of walking, not much. You see that big flat stone right there? And there's another one over here. Well, they used to use those flat stones for steps, like in front of the house or the fireplace hearth. And there's a little mound of dirt back there. There's also a very large oak tree, it looks like, or maybe it looks like an elm. So I think we're into the spot here. So I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you as soon as I take a peek. I'm going to drop my detector right now and see if there's any noise. And I'm sure there is. I'm sure this is the house site. So wish me luck. Yeah, this is definitely it. Definitely. There's a pile of stone over that way. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, it's back there. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, this is definitely the spot. Getting all kinds of iron signals in here. And I got my very first high tone signal. It's probably junk because it's bordering 70 to 80. 80 is usually like plate steel or something like that. But first signals are always usually pretty decent and give you an idea what you're going to be finding. So let's dig this one together. How about that? Okay. Oh, I see remnants of brick. Do you see it? Yeah. Some old clay brick right there. That's a good indication. Definitely where we're supposed to be at. Let's knock this big dirt clump out and see what we can see in there. It was a big signal. It almost sounded like a can. That's a brick in here. See all the brick? Look at that. It's a mason jar lid. I hit it with my shovel. You see that right there? Yeah. I was off a little bit fiddling around with the camera. But they usually have that ceramic glass insert. That's how they canned their food back in the old days. They used mason jars. And you find these a lot at old house sites. I usually save the glass piece inside, but this one's a little bent and out of shape. But that's probably 1920s, I would imagine. So they used them all the way up until, I don't know, like I think people are still using them, matter of fact, but mostly used in the early 1900s. So let's we got our brick and we got mason jar. We're on this spot, so I'll get back to you when we have more good finds. Alrighty? Alright, till we find something next. Bye. Yeah, I think we're gonna be onto a good site here. Virgin site is what I like to say. Nobody's been out here digging. Getting some nice signals so far. And let me show you what I found here. You see it? It has a handle. What do you suppose that is? I'll give you a guess. You put it on top of a pan to cover up your your eggs or whatnot that you're cooking. Yeah, that's what that is. Sits right on top of a cast iron pan. It's just a lid. Isn't that neat? That's a nice relic right there. I'm going to keep that one. We'll clean it up and I'll give you a shot of it later. Alright, so now we're going to be working our way up through this way, and trying to figure out where this house actually sat is the mystery. And right now it doesn't look like much, but we'll figure it out by the end, and we'll pull out the treasure in here that we can. So, alright, on to the next. Do you see that? Yeah, snake skin. Yeah, they say they stretch like 3 times the size of the snake once they come off. So I've been digging in here. I've been finding a ton of mason jar lids. So that tells me we're in the front of the yard. And I'll tell you about that later. But the reason why, at least. Alright, so let's keep detecting. I'll get back to you when we have something good. Alright, so we got a high tone signal. It's about a 72, but that's about what these mason jar lids have been ringing up. And I suspect it's probably a mason jar lid, but I want to do a live dig because you never know. Let me show you what I'm using today. I'm using the White's MX Sport. I love the MX Sport because of the sounds that it makes. It makes like a whistling noise instead of beep, beep, beep. And you can find treasure better with that, I think, because of the low to the high tones that it gives. I can put like 8 different tones on it at a time. Alright, the only problem with this machine is this headphone cable. Why they didn't go wireless with an expensive $800 machine is beyond me. Alright, so nothing in the hole. Gotta be right in there. Let's pop that open. Probably just a mason jar lid, I imagine. People will sit here with their pinpointers and just sit there and keep poking and poking and poking at it, but no, it's not a mason jar. Alright, let's drive the detector over it and find it. It's still in that clump. Maybe it is a mason. Nope. What is it? What is it? What is it? Where is it? There's a big clump of roots right there. I'm not seeing anything, are you? Huh. Let's put that over the coil. Oh, whatever it is, it's out. There it is. Do you see it? It is a coin. Nice. That is an old coin found in the ground at some old abandoned house site. Let's take a peek at it. It's probably just a little wheat penny. Yeah. There's Lincoln right there. I can see him. No. I'm not sure what that is. Let me clean that up and I'll get right back to you. Yeah, so it is a Lincoln. A stinking Lincoln is what we call them. It's only a 1944, so that gives us an idea. It's a wheat penny. That gives us an idea of, the usage time period of this site. So people were here in 1944 because we have evidence of it right there. All right. Well, even a 1944 penny's pretty decent find. So, and you don't just come across those every day in circulation. All right. So on to the next. Well, I thought there was another penny in that hole. I was getting a faint signal, so I redug it. Didn't get anything. It's probably a nail. But anyway, right here, I dug something interesting. Not sure what it is yet. Let's take a peek. What do you think? Some kind of doorknob? What is that? What is it? Looks like a doorknob. Some kind of old handle, maybe, of some sort. Yep. It's an old one, that's for sure. That's what we call a relic. You can't find those unless you go out and find those in the dirt. Try to find something like that at an antique shop. Yeah, well, you might see this one there. Looks like it broke off. But anyway, yeah, nice. So when you find one coin, you usually find a lot more. So this is a promising site. I suspect the house site is going to be right up there on top of that hill. And we have these big old elm trees right here. And elm was a popular tree back in the day, so not so much anymore. Some elm disease wiped them out. But anyway, mason jar lids in the front yard. The reason why we find a lot of those in the front yards is because, that's how they got back and forth to their vehicles, or that's where they hung out and stuff like that. They ate right out of the mason jars, so, they would just take the top and they would toss it on the ground. Isn't that strange? And instead of reusing it. I guess once you seal it, it's sealed, and once you take it out, unscrew it, it's kind of no good anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure. Not from the olden days, but anyway. Alright, so let's move on and find some more treasure. So here we have marked a spot of an 82 signal. Now, my machine goes up to 100. 100 being like super non-ferrous. That means it's non-magnetic, and that's the good metals, right? Usually. 82 in the woods is usually a flat piece of iron, but because it's right next to this old elm stump, you see there's another elm tree there and another one there. This was their front yard right here. This is their front yard, and because it's right next to this old tree, it really interests me. Now, an 80 signal could be silver, so a live dig is definitely in order. You never know until you dig it out. It sounds like a nice signal, but it could be junk. You just never know. Yeah. Alright, most of the objects in here have been pretty deep. 6 to 8 inches at least. Alright, so not seeing anything silver pop out yet. Do you? No. Me neither. Yeah, see? That round shape. And it's plate steel. Yeah, it's actually a can. An old can lid. Now that gave a high tone 82 signal, which is usually like nice coin signal. But because of the round shape, because it's flat, my machine thinks it's a coin, so it's going to say, hey, go dig that up. You never know what it is. So, junk. That's what that is. You find a lot of this in yards. They just toss the stuff out like it was nothing. No trash service. So. Alright, on to the next. Okay, so I'm pretty confident that this is going to be a coin. As you see those other spots over there, they were all just chunks of metal that sounded like a coin. But this one has that perfect sound. And let's find out. Sounds like a penny. Alright. Nothing there. Nothing. I'm betting it's in this clump. Come on, coin. Where you at? Where you at? I know it was deeper than that. Alright. The coins are usually very tough to see. So let's go ahead and swipe the detector over it real quick. Let's see. Put my headphones back. Yeah, sorry about that. You gotta use headphones. That's in here. Usually you see coin impressions. You just take and fan it over the coil. Oh, what's that? What is that? Well, it's not a coin, but it's copper. It's a comb. Looks like a curry comb. You see the bristles on it? Looks like a curry comb for maybe a horse or... yeah, probably a horse. Piece of it, at least. Alright, that was a big signal. I thought it was a coin. Alright, on to the next. So that is the